Happy weekend, Mullenites. Well, I suppose we kind of spoke about this the other day, that we thought there would be a continuing fall following the mini short squeeze from the stock, and we did see that today. There was a bit of excitement very early on the stock, with the stock jumping by about 14-15% before finishing rather flat, but slightly in the negative, slightly in the red. I guess it sort of goes to show that sentiment is still pretty poor, and why wouldn't it be? We're a company that is getting close to being insolvent, running out of cash, and the avenues for raising more cash, be it debt or equity, seem to be drying up before our eyes. Even still, the company does continue to push forward with its initiatives. It's still working on bringing its battery production facility in California online. They announced the other day that they received the certification for, I think it's like CAB or CARB, that incentive that I think 14 states in America, it said, had signed on to, saying that 50% of vehicles purchased this year have to be EV. So it opens them up to being able to sell to those governments if they choose to buy Mullen vehicles. But I just have a feeling that if I was working in a government department and I had to acquire some EV vehicles, I might not be necessarily looking at Mullen, especially considering that they're they are perhaps no longer of a going concern. They're intending to stay afloat, but financially they may not do so. Looking ahead to next week, unless there's any sort of news around some sort of funding, I feel like we're going to still just see this continuing slide in the stock price. There's the chance that we might have a bit of a retail sugar rush and jump in to try and squeeze shorts, because look, there is definitely a high short interest in the stock. We're about 21% short and held short, and the borrow fee is reasonably high, but historically the shorts have kind of really won this stock, other than a few small rallies, and there's just generally poor sentiment. And the fact of the matter is, if Mullen is able to secure any sort of financing, it's likely to be detrimental to stock value, whether it be a diluting equity raise. And remember, the equity raises that Mullen Automotive has engaged in the past before have been actually rather toxic for the stock value, in terms of very poor terms that they've been selling stocks to institutional investors. And whether it be debt, because if they were to be debt funded right now, I imagine there would be a premium on the interest that they would be charged, like the short-term debt they had this year as well. Huge interest on that thing, something like 20% interest they paid on a 90-day loan. It's dire. I don't know. What else is there to say about it? Anyway, so I guess just keeping an eye out, seeing if there any news. I'll be keeping one eye on what's happening with shorts, but they're pretty dug in at the moment. Over 20% short interest is huge. Anything over 10% is considered high, so 20% is massive. I suppose one thing is worth talking about, though, that if there is to be a short squeeze, and we did see it the other day, it doesn't take much for the stock to rally really high, because it has such a small float at the moment. So one legacy of all the reverse stock splits that Mullen Automotive has been through is that it has the potential to go quite almost real crazy, if it is to be a concerted effort to squeeze shorts. And we kind of actually saw that on Wednesday with the rally that the stock had. Anyway, I'll leave it at that for this video. I hope you're all having a great weekend. And until next time, may the markets trade in your favor. Cheers.